All right, we are live for yet another episode of Real Estate Junkies podcast. Today we have an interview with Lisa Brannon, a seasoned real estate expert and broker with over 19 years of experience in operations and customer service in real estate. Lisa, why you want to hear what she has to say is because she has a master's degree in business administration and multiple real estate designations, including GRI, MRP, and CNE. She's known for her innovative approach to problem solving, client satisfaction, with a proven track record of success across both residential and commercial property transactions. Lisa has been recognized for her outstanding achievements at United Real Estate River City in 2018, 2019, and 2016 top sales and volume agent with EXIT Realty. Lisa has an extensive experience in mortgage strategies, market trend analysis, and negotiation. So you don't want to miss out the opportunity to learn how Lisa has taken her production to icon status by mastering the art of referrals. Lisa, it's a pleasure having you on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, it's a pleasure. So, can you start with sharing your journey from starting in real estate to becoming the top sales agent in multiple brokerages across the board?
Sure. I'm Lisa Brannon. Hi, guys. I'm a licensed real estate instructor as well as a licensed real estate broker here in Northeast Florida. And I jumped back into the market in 2015. I was in the market with my own brokerage in the early 2000s in Charlotte, North Carolina, and no reciprocity coming to Florida. Therefore, I had to start over. So waited till the kids came out of school. I've got 7 children and 2 grandchildren. I know. Um, when they graduated in 2014, they were kind of prepared, for everybody to go off to college and do their own thing. My twin daughters are actually the youngest 2 prosecutors here in the city.
Oh, wow.
So I jumped back out in 2015. And basically, I just started over because we had just moved here. So I started what I would tell the younger agents, if you're in a brokerage that offers things like floor duty, mentoring,
Mm,
join those programs. Anybody that worked at Exit Real Estate Gallery knew that I was the one on the phone. I
mm.
may answer the phone on the north side of town. You may call the south side in the afternoon. It's still me. And the reason I did that is because since I wasn't from here, I needed to build my business.
Mhm,
So with floor duty, anybody that calls in and asks for help or walks in that door during the time you're on duty, that is your client.
mm,
Therefore, that's how I started the business originally.
mhm.
So I was able to do that. I was able to get the customers that way. From there, it's just a matter of doing a great job, having, someone forward your information on. So I would do, different things for the customers, from the closings to the gifts. I even throw housewarming parties, which is an excellent idea for you to bring the people out.
Yeah.
Family members would say, "Oh, you sold her a house. I want you to sell me a house." So they would do that for you. And then from there, when I changed brokerages and went ahead and came on over to EXP, which is my life, I love it. Um, it was just different programs that we have here,
Yeah.
within the company that has allowed me to put my name out there and get referrals. Because not only do we have a referral division, but being that now I've been in the industry so long, I've made a name for myself. So
Mm,
what I've tried to do to get the recognition is I have gone ahead and attached myself locally to different events. So
mhm.
that way you've got the name recognition. So there's an event that comes every year called Natural Beauty Fest. I'm assigned to that. I've been sponsoring them for the past 3 years. So
Wow.
if you ever come there, yeah, you'll see my picture on the wall. I get a classroom on the side where I do home ownership workshops. I bring in a credit guy. I bring in a loan officer. You can get financed on the spot. I'll have a booth there with my team out there with our matching shirts on. We're giving you the homeowner information, how to buy, how to sell. Even if you're looking to rent, we can lead you down the right path of where you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. That's creative.
So I think that's important. And then the other great thing, like I was telling you before, was I'm not there yet to where I can do NFL, but I was able to sponsor our local arena football league, which is known as the Jacksonville Sharks. And I've sponsored them for 3 years.
Mm.
We did win the championship last year, whoop whoop. But then they moved up to a different league, so we didn't do so good this season. So, but anyway, I've been there 3 years. So what that does, it puts my logo. They move it around. So like the second year, my logo was on the door that the team enters in and out of. So the camera's always scanning on it.
Mm.
This year, we were moved over to the 30-yard line. So,
Mm.
when they're tackling and stuff, it's on the screen. We've been on the Jumbotron, but my actual booth is a corporate booth. So
Mm.
it's right there on the second yard line. So they're flipping over the wall, we're right there in the game. Touch the players, coach them, whatever you need to do, right? So, but the good thing is, I've done it with my title company because
Mhm.
my title company, I do so much business with them. They
Yeah.
partner with me, split the fees because, as we know, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
We've got a double logo. And then her name is Lisa. My name is Lisa. So buy with Lisa, close with Lisa, get 2 free tickets. You know what I'm saying? And when you sit in our booth, it's all you can eat and all you can drink to third quarter. Can't beat it.
Wow. Wow. So it seems like to me you have done a lot of groundwork to build a name for yourself. And so what would you say, like what role did referrals play in your journey of becoming a top sales agent? Like what percentage of your production is coming from referrals right now, and how did you build that strong referral network?
So for me, the referrals are probably about 90% of my business.
Wow.
Most of the
Yeah.
people that come to me are actually referred to me.
Hmm.
Every now and again, I might get a random person, that I see out, have the conversation with, and oh, I do real estate. Are you interested, looking to buy or sell,
Yeah.
that type of thing. But most of mine is referral. A lot of mine is military referrals,
Oh
which
wow.
is what I'm sharing because I'm really big into into designations, the education. And
Yeah.
here for Northeast Florida, we have many military bases. So
Hmm.
they're always PCS and they're coming in, they're going out. You're selling, you're buying, we always have military. So
Yeah.
what I did to put my name out there is not only did I become a military relocation professional 7 years ago, excuse me, but when they offered that new designation here in Northeast Florida, I became a Florida military specialist as well.
Hmm.
That way you can advertise within the bases, and then
Yeah.
the military share because they know who's moving back and forth, and they'll call Miss
Yeah.
Lisa. My friend's getting relocated to NAS. They
Hmm.
need a house, and a lot of times, even though these kids are young, and I'm talking about 22, 23, they're coming in with these military rankings. They're qualifying for 300 and $400,000 homes on their own.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So sounds like to me it's not playing the hope game for you. You have a strategy to this. You are very strategic. You think like, okay, what are the referral sources, and you go target that. If you need to go get a designation, you're not afraid to do that. Now, what would you say some key strategies you use to gain the trust of your clients and making referrals a predictable thing in your business instead of playing the hope game?
I would say staying in touch with them just to make sure, because after you do the housewarming, they kind of get infatuated with moving in the home, getting situated, and then you won't hear from them for a while. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to touch them.
Yeah.
Even if it's just 30 days, just a quick touch. Hey, just checking in. How'd the move go? Anything I can help you with? Because sometimes they do still need help, whether it's
Yeah.
utilities or where can they find the best restaurants? Because some of them are new to the city as well. They're not just
Yeah.
moving. You know,
Yeah. Being resourceful.
yeah. So I mean, I've got the referrals also, where they upsize and downsize. We do that as well. But a lot of them are looking for
Mm-hmm.
that additional assistance. So I just
Yeah.
try to be that resource for them, whether it's restaurants, whether it's utilities, whether it's contractors, I try
Yeah.
to provide that. And then I always check back in, after the holidays as well, to make sure that for the new ones that they've all filed their homestead exemption.
Yeah.
Because we talk about it at closing, title reviews, they always forget.
Yeah.
Hey, just check it in to make sure and remind you it's time to file. How's it going? Are any of your friends buying or
Yeah.
selling? And
Mhm.
just go through the speech from there.
Yeah. I think that's very crucial what you mentioned, right? Just not making it a transactional thing for a lot of real estate agents. It just like, oh, close the deal and move on to the next one, and then they basically close the door on the referrals, right? And uh,
Right.
taking that value-based approach to your business and adding value to your people and making sure that you are they get the service where they feel like, oh my god, like she helped me to the level that, you know, she needs to help this person, right, and that person and that person, right? Like they truly see it as a relationship thing, and actually providing service, and not like just being transactional. Oh, she's my salesperson, right? She I
Right.
bought a house with her, right? Or, you know, versus like I bought a house with her or I made a house with her, right? Like that's the difference in service. How did you, I would say, like, you know, when it comes to building that level of service, right? I think a lot of real estate agents struggle with doing all those things, right? So how do you structure your business to maximize the flow of referrals, right? Like what systems and processes are in place to make it more effective or make your business most effective when it comes to getting referrals consistently?
Right. Well, the first thing I would say in terms of keep in touch, you have to realize that you're just not a real estate agent. For a
Mhm.
lot of these people, we are psychiatrists, psychologists. Listen, school workers. Listen, it's a lot that we go through, a lot of questions that they ask us, you know, especially when the husbands and the wife don't agree, and you're in the middle. Like it's a lot that goes with it. So just trying to make sure that it's not just transactional, right?
Yeah.
Try to make it personal. The other thing would be is just basic, right? Check this out. Answer the phone. It's a big thing that agents don't do.
Yeah.
Everybody complains. Agents don't answer the phone. And yes, sometimes we have the buyer that gets on our nerves. And yes, they're going to call you 15 times. And yes, you've already answered that question. Doesn't matter. Answer
Mhm.
the phone. No matter how stupid the question. And don't let them feel like it's a stupid question. You
Yeah.
know, oh, I just told you this. Or told this already. Nope. Just go through it again.
Yeah.
Be as gentle as you can be, you know, and explain what you can explain.
Yeah.
And then for the processes, it's just, you know, a matter of timelines.
Yeah.
Because for us here, our loan officers are running about 21 days in closing. So it's not like it's a long process that we have to go through.
Mhm.
So just during those 21 days, unless we're doing new construction, that takes months, right?
Mhm.
You know, just touching them. I would just say maybe daily touches, if not other touches, and then make sure for me, what I do to make it as simple as possible is I get all my paperwork upside. So
Mhm.
I don't know about the other brokerages, I know, but like for EXP, you got certain forms you got to sign and certain things that have to be in the file, you know,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Per GDPR to be approved in order to get paid. So I make sure all of that is done up front. So that takes that stress off of me. So
Yeah.
now I'm
Yeah.
just dealing personally versus just dealing with all the paperwork. And then at
Yeah.
the end, we're all happy. They're
Yeah.
getting keys, I'm getting a check, we're taking pictures, you know, we've got the signs out like it's a big celebration.
Mhm. That's amazing. Yeah, sounds like to me you're just like, hey, just do the groundwork,
Yeah,
make it, keep it simple, and just have it. You know, you don't need like fancy technology. Just have it systematically. You know, and focus on relationship and focus on serving the clients, making the process simple. Now, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced? Like you changed market, right? That gotta be a challenge. So a lot of challenges we can talk about because agents getting into the market, new agents moving around. I've seen a lot of agents moved around over the last few years. So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced when building your business primarily through referrals, and how did you overcome them?
I would say one of the biggest challenges, like I said, moving from North Carolina to Florida, was learning everything over again because they're two totally different states with rules, two different ways of operating.
Hmm.
So learning the Florida way of doing it based on how they process here, from title, from being able to use title companies
Yeah.
to yeah, different processes. But I would say the most difficult one I had for a referral, this is really funny. um and this is why now I ask extensive questions when I'm
Yeah.
working with couples. So we had a young military couple come in, they were a referral. Let's call them Marie and Sam. I'm doing new construction. This new construction agent and I have worked together several times. We go through the paperwork with them. Are you married? They both say yes. We fill out the paperwork. We go through the building of the home. We go through walkthroughs. We go through inspections. Now we get the closing day. Okay, so now we get there. Everybody's pulling out their ID. Guess what? They were married, just not to each other. So that's not a big thing, right? In other states, you can do that. Here in Florida, you cannot do that. This is a community property statement, it's a VA loan. And so they were having a hard time being able to put that loan together. So
Wow.
these are young military people. So then, ma'am, you're going to buy this home and this is great, but where's your husband? And she's like, oh, he's in the field in Ohio. Thank goodness this is like, the younger kids, the millennials. So they're all friends. You know how they do. So I literally called to this base like every day. We extended this for like 2 months. Thank God the builder was willing to work with them. We're calling. They're telling us he's out the field. He's in the field. He's in the field. They only come out the field on Wednesdays because he had just rejoined.
Hmm.
He comes in Wednesday. We're trying to get him to sign the paperwork. He's okay with the girl buying the house. Do you know how I got a message to this man?
How?
Instagram. I DM this man on Instagram and
Wow.
told him that she's trying to buy a house and we need his signature and I need him to call me right away. The next day he called me. He said he was laying out there in the field scrolling on Instagram, saw the DM and was like, oh, let me call her. And he then at that point got up and went to the office that Wednesday, signed the paperwork, and we were able to close.
Wow.
So now when I meet with couples and they say, yes, this is my man. I love him so much. We're married. Okay. Are y'all married to each other though? We're glad you're married, but is it to each other?
Sounds like to me you got to turn every rock, and this is something that I see agents struggle with even in our academy. And I've been doing something interesting on Facebook. So those of you who follow me, you probably will know why I do this. Is I ask questions that should be addressed through a consultation, right? So
Right.
I say, hey, for example, this morning I posted, your seller wants to close in 30 days, and in your market that's not realistic. Like, how do you adjust how do you align them with the real world, right? And then
Mhm.
you get all these agents like, oh, you should do this, you should do this, and very few actually says, hey, this should be addressed in the consultation and this is how you address it, right? So agents, and we have this, I guess, like, we have this instinct as salespeople to tell our clients how it is instead of asking questions. We just assume, right? Someone has
Do that.
a price objection, a commission objection. We are just like so ready to tell them how it is instead of
Mhm.
asking, like, oh, why do you think so, right? Oh,
Yeah.
you're married. Is it to each other, right? We just come to conclusion just by, because like we do a lot of things repetitive, right? Like we are dealing with a lot of married couples, so we assume that everyone's married to each other, right? So
Right. Right. And they're not.
so it sounds like to me, turning every rock, and seeing what's behind it and being resourceful, right? And
Yep.
leveraging Instagram, you get a hold of the guy and you couldn't get a hold of him through the proper channels, right? So that's
No.
interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. So
So,
probably the
what
most
changed? Go
difficult.
ahead.
No, no, no. I said I think that was probably the most difficult one.
Yeah, yeah. So what changes have you seen in the real estate market? Have you observed over like 19 years? That's a long time, right? You have gone through some ups and downs in the market. So what changes in the real estate market have you observed since you started, and how have you adapted your strategies to stay ahead in the game?
Oh, that's a good question. So when we first started back in 2002, we
Hmm.
were making really, really good money back in those days. Because let me tell you something, stated income was a thing. You remember that? And it didn't matter what you made.
Yeah,
Think
you
your
tell me what you
income.
make, and we make it work.
Listen, if you had that credit score over 700 and you worked at McDonald's and you told that loan officer McDonald's pays you $100,000, you must be the best French fryer maker they got. They gonna quote it and you are gonna qualify. So needless to say, that didn't end up well. We had lots of foreclosures. That's where the whole bus and everything came from back in the day. Because
Hmm.
people couldn't afford the homes they were qualified for, right?
Hmm.
So that's gone out the window. Nobody's really doing stated income now. Everybody literally has to prove,
Yeah.
what they're making. So that's one of the biggest changes. The interest rates, have been a big change. Back in 2002, like even when we were buying our houses, they were like 12%, 10%. Those interest rates are gone. We've seen them go down as low to like where we are now, 2.5% when I bought my home a couple of years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
So it just depends on what you've got. Sorry,
Yeah.
on what you got for the qualifications.
Hmm.
Another big thing for the particular agents is how can I say this in a nice way? Okay, so we got
In a nice way.
right in a nice way, professional way. So you got a lot of agents, remember, that came to the market in the past 3 years. They
Yeah.
saw the money coming in. Offers were booming, 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 especially here in Jacksonville. I can literally put in a listing, get up, go get coffee, come back, sit down, I have three cash offers. Right?
Yeah.
Those big hedge fund companies here, buying, 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 buying. So agents come up, they didn't really have to do too much. Oh, this is fun. This is easy. Oh, okay. So now that the market's changed and now they're having a grind,
Yeah.
I'm because
Yeah.
Lisa, I got to go get a job. Go find a corporate job. But my point is the same effort you put into training to learn a new job and interviewing and all that, you can put that same effort into your real estate.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
tell you, I go to my office, I sit in the office, I'm on the computer, I'm networking, I'm at these events. Y'all tell me I do too much, but my name is out there. Y'all want to sit at home and expect somebody to, hey, you home? I want to buy a house. That's not how real estate works.
Yeah. Like expecting the clients to walk to you, right?
Correct. That's not how
Yeah.
it works. So that's what I try to get across to the younger agents. You have to put in the work,
Yeah.
and then, if you don't want to put in the work, then you're going to be in corporate America. And part-time real estate is hard
Yeah.
because nobody's working around your hours. The purpose of
Mhm.
us being full-time is for us to schedule our schedule around the buyers.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I show houses from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'll sell from 80,000 to 80 million. Like, I'm not one of those agents
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
reject anybody or, any of
Yeah.
that. I
Mhm.
take it all and I try to work with everyone and I try to make it as easy peasy as
Yeah.
possible.
That's interesting. You mentioned that actually this morning I've dropped few stories talking about. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were telling me how it was a lot that it was taking them a lot of time. It's a newer agent. It was taking them a lot of time to learn the skill sets required and things they have to do to put themselves out there, and they're not seeing the results they're expecting, right? And after looking into it, I see that they're not doing anything extraordinary, first of all, right?
Mhm.
And at the same time they are seeing some results, right? Like they have gotten a couple of referrals, right? And
Right.
I'm like, to me it's like it's setting that right expectation, right? If you're expecting it to be easy, when going gets hard you're like, oh my god, this is hard. But if you're expecting it to be hard, when it's hard you're like, hey, it's hard, I got to focus on how can I make it easier, right? so
Right.
so it's very, very important setting the right expectation. Now, I guess like when it comes to building referrals, I think it all comes down to creating knowability, likability, trustability, right? Creating the trustworthiness, right? So, how important would you say building a personal brand is to your success? And what steps did you take to build a recognizable and trustworthy brand?
Okay. So for me, building the brand, like I said, was aligning myself with those different sponsorships.
Hmm.
But another big thing is for me, like I said, with networking,
Yeah.
going to the events that doesn't cost anything.
Hmm.
Do it locally, meet your local agents. So for us, Northeast Florida Association of Realtors, we have over 11,000 agents in our association.
Well.
Out of 11,000, and most events, you're going to see the same 60 of us.
Yeah.
Look at the leadership team, it's the same people. You know who comes out, but I try to explain. Oh, they'll say things like, "Well, what's the purpose of that?" The purpose is if we get into a contract and
Hmm.
there's a multiple offer situation, I'm going to beat you
Yeah.
because that agent knows Lisa Brannon and that
Yeah.
agent knows Lisa's easy to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my offer is going to beat your offer every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So I try to explain these are free things you can do to go
Hmm.
out there.
Yeah.
Even if you just do, I tell the agents, if y'all are just so lazy and don't want to do anything and you just want to do what you normally do, even if it's just going to the gym, put on something that says I'm a realtor, put on a stupid shirt. How's it
Yeah.
going? You know what I'm saying? Like wear your name tag in a grocery store so people stop you and say, hey, you sell something to strike up a
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
if you're not going to do it yourself.
Yeah.
But there are easy ways to do it. You don't have to jump out here and spend a lot of money to do it, but you have to put yourself out there. So like I shared in the meeting last week at the convention. I also bowl on a bowling league. You know what I'm saying? So I've sponsored the bowling team several times. We've got
Yeah.
shirts. We
Yeah.
wear the EXPers. And people in the bowling alley buy houses from Lisa. And
Mm.
guess what?
Yeah.
people in the bowling alley don't know who's buying until we say congratulations. Because I don't even advertise the business. Now, if you want to tell people you're under contract, I let them do that. But I
Yeah.
bowled at that bowling alley, and I've sold over 10 houses just from the bowling alley.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, you see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
it's people who know you, trust you, like you, want to work with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's the two very, very crucial principles you shared here is number one, tap into other people's influence, right? Go where other people have influence. So sponsoring leagues, so you
Beauty
being,
fast,
yeah,
whatever.
and
Yeah.
you're taking the influence of the bowling league, right? You're taking, there is influence there already. I mean, look at this interview. I'm tapping into your influence by getting you on my podcast. Okay, look at that, like on top right there it says my company logo, right? What does that
Yes.
create? Like that creates recognition, right? Like people can
Yes.
recognize, the way me and you met is we sponsored the build event, right? And
Right.
our banners were over there. People there probably have never heard of me, probably have never heard of our company, but they did for the first time. Now I got you on my podcast. Now this will be shared on social media, so
Right.
people that were there on the event, they will see you on my podcast with me. They were like, "Oh, I met that guy at that event. Now I see him again." Right. So second principle, consistently showing up. Right. So
Right.
if you show up consistently, that builds more than anything. That could build likability, but there is no guarantee, right? With
Right.
different personalities don't go together, but it will definitely build trustability. Why? Because you're consistently showing up. Like, so people feel like, oh, he's everywhere, oh, she's everywhere, right?
Right. Right.
And I think those crucial, very, very crucial principles people overlook, right? They don't, we teach some of our strategies with social media inside of our academy is to get your local principal on your live videos, right? Do an interview just like that with
I
your
know.
local principal, with your local mayor, with your local, police chief, right? With your local fire chief, right? They already have influence and they're rooted in the community. Community knows them. A lot of community probably don't know you. So when you show up
Right.
next to them, they start trusting you. Start hacking, I call it hacking other people's influence. You start
Mhm.
hacking the other people's influence that they have, the trust they have to the community. You're taking it on, right? And it's
Right.
gonna take you a lot of consistency to be fully trusted, right? But
Mhm.
that's the second principle is that you have to consistently show up. I mean, just from the event I got 10 guests on our podcast, right?
Look
And the
at
goal is
you.
what? The goal is to consistently, every single person that was on the stage, every single person, either I have
Awesome.
already had them on my podcast, Brand Golf, I already had them on my podcast, or I invited them on my podcast, right? So
Okay.
every time I go on events, that's one of the things that I do. I try to achieve out of the outcome of going to the event is
Yeah.
inviting everyone that gets on the stage to our podcast. And the
Yes.
goal is what? Sure, I want to learn about your journey, right? Sure, I want to feature you and highlight you because you're doing great things. And there is some principles that you would be able to bring to our listeners that will help them in their business.
Right.
That's one of the birds I'm going to kill. But more importantly, I want to show up next to you because you have created an influence in the marketplace. People know you, people like you, people trust you. So when I'm next to you, people will, at least at the very minimum, will know me for the first time,
Right.
will like me for the first time, will trust me for the first time. But anyway, those are very, very crucial principles. Thank you for sharing and highlighting those. Is that, tap into other people's influence and consistently show up, right? Now,
Yes.
where do you see the future of real estate industry heading? Like, especially in terms of agent roles and technology and everything that's happening with the NAR situation. Where are we going with all of this?
The NAR situation is just taking us back to where we were before. I mean, before we had buyer agency agreements, North Carolina has consistently used them throughout time.
Hmm.
Florida is a state that we haven't really had to use them. So the agents here are kind of freaking out because they're not familiar. They don't know how to word it. But it's the same as we used to do before in terms of making phone calls. Now you actually have to talk to the listing agent. Hey,
Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on with the house? How much are you willing to pay?
Mm.
You know, so that I think is going to bring more communication. Like I said, I think it's frightening
Transparency.
a lot of
Yeah.
agents.
Hmm.
A lot of new agents are concerned about how they're going to get paid. But this is just going to be the time you are going to have to show your worth.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
Yeah.
explain why should they work with you?
Mm.
Why should
Yeah.
they work with you versus working with me?
Because
Yeah.
they're your cousin.
Right. So I mean, you got to explain that because that's all it's going to be now, and then it's going to be up to them if they pay or not.
Hmm.
So, you just got to do your livelihood. I'm going to tell everybody, one thing I'm big on is a pipeline. I drive a pipeline. I don't need to be worried about how I'm going to pay my bills in October. I know I got 3 new constructions closing in October. I know I got 2 in November. Like, keep your pipeline going. So at least
Yeah.
you're not financially worried about, how you're going to pay your bills
Yeah.
in terms of getting up new business on top of that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I think we, especially in the last 5 years, right? I've been in business 12 years, and in the last 5 years, I have seen agents come in and just fall into deals, right? Like
Right,
stepping on dog poop, right? Like you just step on here and you got a deal going on, right? So
right.
I think with everything that's happening, it's true that it's becoming harder, but at the same time, it's actually revealing what we should be doing in the first place, right? In our academy, we've been teaching consultation framework forever. This is for the past 9 years. We've been charging buyers, right? And some of
Hmm.
our buyers that are listening, they already know, like, hey, Saeed, when you work with him, he'll get the deal done, but he charges, right? Like we charge on top of the 3% we get on with our sellers, right? So
Nice.
and they understand our value, right? They actually come to us knowing, like, we have built a sphere that everyone in our sphere know that when they work with us, they pay more, right? But they don't care about that part. They care about, like, when they work with us, the deal's gonna get done, right? Like you're gonna find the right house, you're gonna get under like in COVID, like that was my value proposition, is
Mhm.
that I give you a get your offer accepted guarantee, right? Like, hey, doesn't matter what house is it, doesn't matter how many offer there are, my guarantee is I get your offer accepted, right? And if I don't get your offer accepted, your service is free. Like, oh, people were flocking to us. But I think the bottom line thing is where we are going in the industry is that you have to show up with value.
Yep.
You can't just expect for someone to do business with you just because they're your cousin, right?
That
Sure, if you have a cousin buying a house, they should come to you, and if they're not, what's the problem? Why are they not coming to you, right?
right.
Are you not showing up with trustability? Are you not showing up with value, right? And I see this the other day. I saw that a real estate agent posted that, like, if you are someone that I know, you're my friends or family, and you have bought a house with real estate agent, something like along the lines, he says something very mean, I don't even want to say it, like
Oh,
something along the lines of like you're cut off or something like that, right?
mm,
I was like baffled. Like, how can you even say that, right? How can
right.
you expect someone to come to you just because you have a relationship with them, and not because and I think where we are going with the market, those stuff are gonna get exposed, right? Because
Right.
consumers care about themselves. They don't care about you're their cousin and you have a real estate license. Consumers care what are they getting out of using you as their real estate agent. So
And
that,
are you knowledgeable?
yeah,
Because just because you're my cousin that does real estate, but you've only done 3 transactions, I don't want to work with you. I want to work with someone that sold 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 houses that actually knows the industry. I don't want you to learn with me.
yeah.
So that's a thing that a lot of new agents run into too.
Yeah. Man, your phone been going off, huh? What
You
do you
see it? It's just buzzing all over. I'm so
No, we appreciate you spending the time with us and adding value to the community, guys. She's probably lost out on $10,000 already over here.
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, I love that abundance mindset. So now let's talk about EXP, right? You
Let
got a lot of experience. You've been top producers in different brokerages, right? So what attracted you to EXP? And we were having the conversation at the Build conference, and you were like, you've been here for a while, and how has it impacted your business and your growth and the strategy of your business?
So for EXP, I actually was presented the opportunity back when he first came out. Like there were several agents that left Exit Real Estate Gallery. I did
Mm,
go to the presentation with them, but at the time I didn't understand how it actually worked. The numbers didn't make sense to me at the time because I was at Exit. I had a lot of agents under me and I was getting my residuals and stuff directly from them. The kicker for me was The kicker for me was the split. So,
Yeah.
like when you're making a little bit of money, you don't really see it. It's not a big deal, right? But that very first year, I hit six figures and I was like, oh, yeah, I did it now, right? And
Mhm.
so I'm excited. The 1099s come out. It wasn't six figures on there. Wait a minute. That was when I realized I got two 1099s. One was for lower,
Mhm.
and then it was over 20 something thousand that went to a corporate.
Yeah.
And so that kind of hurt my feelings. And I realized, my twin daughters were in law school. At that point, I was flying back and forth once a month to DC,
Mhm.
Thursday through Monday, because they were the youngest in law school. They were only 21.
Mm.
And so, I had to go up there and, coddle them. They're crying. They miss home. They're 10 hours away. It's a whole thing. But I couldn't afford. I said, you know what I could have did with $28,000 instead of paying it to a corporation? So when I first left, I went to United because it was 100%.
Mm.
And it was a small family brand. They were the only ones that had bought into United at that point.
Yeah.
Now it had split over to United. But
Mm.
when I left, it was just for this one small family I was working for. So I stayed there about a year just to get, my money up, keep the 100%. And then when the opportunity was presented again for EXP, and I really dived into the information and saw all the wonderful benefits, the programs, the trainings,
Mhm.
the referral opportunities, I said, oh, yes, this is for me.
Yeah.
So I jumped right in. This is for me.
Yeah.
I jumped in, and what I can tell y'all, and y'all could call me, I'd be more than happy to sponsor y'all. But let me tell
Yeah.
you, I jumped in. That first year, my thing doubled. And
Mm.
I said, whoa, whoa, like I'm getting more name recognition. And see, for me, what I love about EXP is we're international. I'm not talking about local brands. Local
Mm.
brands can't move you like an international company can move you.
Wow.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah, you can be top dog at your local brand. You can be top dog in a city, but how much money is that gonna make you? I'd rather be international where you got multitudes of people.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. And you
know,
don't even gotta be the top dog, right? You don't even gotta be the top dog.
well, I do okay. I wouldn't say I'm the top dog in the city. It's a lot of top dogs here in Jacksonville. So I don't want to take that title. But what I'm saying is with an international brand, though, you got so many more people that can pour into you, give you different
Yeah.
ways of doing things,
Yeah.
and that's what I love because with me and EXP and Impact Group Worldwide, the way that Shelly and Brent and our whole line took us under their wings, it's nothing for them to mentor,
Yeah.
nothing for them to share. I love that EXP agents do not gatekeep.
Yeah.
The icon agents that are here, yes, we worked hard to get here. I know I did. I've been here
Mm.
and I'm staying here. My license plate says EXP icon. Everybody in the city knows that. My Mercedes is EXP blue, baby. I'm EXP for life. But listen,
I
man,
love your passion.
I love EXP. But what I can say is every year my income has increased. And I'm
Mm.
talking about six digits every year.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing. So it doesn't, I don't know. I've never been in 100% brokerage, so I can't, like, I never even thought in that lane, right? Where, oh, I want to keep all my money, because I always understood value cost, right? There is a value to cost, or there's a cost to the value that you get, right? So if you're not paying anything, you're not getting anything, right?
As long as you
So
know, put it together.
you so you've been at a place where you kept all your money. I'm sure you paid some like discount brokerage split, like, I don't
Yeah.
know, two
No
thousand, three
split.
thousand
They
dollars, right?
only charge you a fee
Yeah,
per
yeah, it's
transaction.
never 100%. Like, it's never 100%, right? It's kind of like what we teach. We teach some of our agents in our academy that wants to build a listing focused business. So we help them create irresistible offers. So one of the offers we help them create is list your house for $0, right? Or 0% commission. List your home for 0% commission, but it's never 0%, right? You charge a flat fee to get their house on the MLS. That's the offer, right? But
Right.
like, after being able to keep all your money and now you're paying at least $16,000 in cap, right?
Yep.
What's the thought process there? Like, how are you adapting to that? And how do you
Let me tell
see
you
being
something.
here more beneficial?
I love it because 16,000 is one of the lowest caps in the industry.
Hmm.
It's easy to get to. I came in December, so I start over every year in January. For EXP, it's
Mhm.
whenever you come on. It's not
Yeah,
like everybody starts over in
yeah,
January.
yeah.
But for me, I start over in January. Usually by March or April, when I'm on my vacation on the beach, is usually when I get that email that says you have capped 100%. So now I know the rest of the year, baby, it's on. Because the way my pipeline works, I'm gonna have those big ones that get me to the icon right before
Beginning
the
of the year.
beginning of the year. I'm gonna throw all those in January so they can get that 16,000 quick.
You're
Then
strategic.
yes, I want
Got
them.
this dial down, like reverse engineers that baby.
Yes, I want that by March or April, right? That gives me 8 more months. I get all my money. Then guess what? If I sell those 20, 25 houses, I get that 16,000 back in stock shares. Who doesn't want that? There
Yeah.
is no other company giving you your money back, whether it's
Mm.
cash, stock, or anything else. When
Yeah.
you come into that split, they keep that.
Okay.
And I've
Okay.
been recruited by many because even the one which is a letter and a number, they've tried to recruit me and tried to bring me on and say, "Oh, we'll give you 100%." Sir, you're lying. Y'all don't have it 100% because y'all have a royalty fee.
Yeah.
Every brand under that umbrella has a 6% royalty fee. So
Mm.
there's no true 100%. Either way, I'm still 94.6.
Hmm.
I'm not leaving the XP for that, sir.
I
Thank you.
love that. I love the fact that you broke it down in a way. Now it sounds like to me EXP is the true 100% brokerage, right? Like for producers, right? You're
Well,
you're not
technically,
producing, you're not working hard, you
no,
got to pay the bills, right? But if you
right,
are working hard and it's not too difficult, right? It's not short, it is hard work. Let's just be honest with people, right? Like, hey, it's hard work, right? But
right,
it's not like, oh, they want me to break my back to be able to get my money back, right?
right.
And so I'm assuming I'm gonna see you in Miami.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Ben paid bought my ticket. Let me tell you something. Anybody that knows Lisa Brannon tell you convention, EXP, Lisa Brannon's there. So you'll
All
see me in
right.
Miami in October. You'll also see me in March for Cabo.
Cabo. I'm thinking about Cabo. Brent
You got
convinced
to
me
come.
at the build conference. He was like, "What are you doing not coming to Cabo? You've been to EXPCon. This is your third time. Like, what are you?" And then Leo also was like, "Are you coming to Cabo?" I'm like, "Damn! Like people are expecting me to come now, right?"
Yes, you gotta come. The who's who is in Cabo. We take over the whole resort. It's a smaller, quaint thing. They
Yeah,
always give us time for breaks. So yes, we'll get up early, but you'll see everybody in there eating breakfast. Glenn will take pictures. He'll talk to you. He's so cool.
yeah.
Then we go in there. You get your little seats, and the heavy hitters come out. And it's like boom, boom, boom. Then Brent will come back out and be like, "Hey, it's 2 o'clock. Time to go to the pool." And we'll all break out in swimsuits, but we're still talking real estate in the pool. Like
Wow.
it's a whole 7 days of just masterminding. I love it. And then once you come to Cabo, you got to join us in Puerto Rico because we mastermind there as well.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. So could you share some examples of how you were able to nurture some of these relationships you have built within the EXP ecosystem and to get clients and referral partners to keep the referrals coming?
Yeah, when going to all the events that we're talking about, when I'm there, I do try to network. So I'm
Mhm.
always doing the digital card. I blink, just
Yeah,
blink, blink,
yeah.
blink, or some people like to tap. Try to get as many cards as you can.
Hmm.
You know, and some people are making really big money on referrals because they don't care where you're at. They'll say, "Oh, you want to buy a house in Washington State? I got a person in Washington State," and they're getting paid like immediately off that. So I would say definitely go to events, definitely network, build those relationships. But once you come on to EXP, align yourself with a performing team. So
Hmm.
I am aligned with Impact Group,
Yeah.
which goes up through Charlotte, North Carolina, under
Mm,
Shelly Johnson and Craig LePage. That
mm,
goes all the way up. We lead to Brent Gove.
mm.
So with them and Shelly and Brent, they have done small groups. They've taken us under their wings. So
Yeah.
I've been to Montana to the house to the horse ranch. I was up
Mm.
there for a week in Yellowstone with Shelly, Brent's wife, Brent
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
It was a small group of us that they took up there. We were up there
Yeah.
for a week. That was cool. You
Yeah.
know, they always do stuff. They take agents all the time to Puerto Rico to mastermind with them. So I
Mm.
would say, don't just say, "Oh, I want to pick a random person at EXP," because it never works. That's where
Yeah.
we get the
You
bad.
gotta align yourself with the right people, the right network. Yeah.
Right, because I've had agents, I've actually had two agents come back under me because they were here and
Mm.
they picked someone they saw on YouTube from
Yeah.
EXP. They had never talked to this person, right?
Shiny object. Yeah.
Right. They're just picking people. And then they're like, oh, I don't have anybody to help me. I don't know anything that's going on.
Mm.
Well, my sponsor, well, first of all, that's not their job. And you picked a random. You should have picked
Yeah.
someone local that
Yeah.
you can align yourself with and learn how it works.
Yeah.
Because that's you got to learn the ropes. Everybody just can't jump in the pool and you don't know how to swim. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So what advice would you give new agents who want to build a business focused on referrals and long-term client relationship?
I would say align yourself with a wonderful company, whether
Mm.
it's EXP or not.
Mm.
If it's EXP, give me a call. I'm here. But
Yeah.
align yourself with a good company. Also, align yourself with a company that has excellent training,
Yeah.
that has the mentors, that has icon agents. And they may not call them icon agents, but you need to be with a company that has top producing agents, and those
Mm.
agents are willing to share what works for them.
Yeah.
Because with the other companies I've worked with, top agents, they're not sharing how they're getting their business.
Mm.
They're not giving any secrets. They are all gatekeeping because they want to be the best of the best. I
Yeah.
have no problem with that. I'm a certified mentor. I mentor, I have plenty of mentees and I
Yeah.
have no problems. Anybody that knows me knows I'm an open book. I have
Yeah.
no
I love
problems
that.
sharing. You could call me and say, hey, Lisa, this agent, blah, 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 blah. What do I do in this situation? Be
Mm.
more than happy to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a total open book when it comes to stuff like that. So I would say that's what's important because that's why a lot of these new agents don't make it and they end up
Yeah.
back in corporate America.
Yeah.
They get out here and they're lost. They don't have anybody to align themselves with.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
And
makes sense.
look easy, but it's not easy. Trust me, real estate's hard.
So let's end with the top three habits or routines that have been essential to creating a sustainable business for yourself to sustain the success that you have seen.
Okay, number one, get up in the morning. I shouldn't be calling you at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you're just rolling over. You
Uh-huh.
just half a day of real estate. Number two, if you are able to get in and get some listings and you're out here, answer your phone. That's one of the
Mm.
top complaints among
Yeah.
agents trying to
Yeah.
get the deal done. Just answer the phone.
Hmm.
And then number three, network, network, network.
Yeah.
Find yourself someone in your brokerage that you can align yourself, and even not in your brokerage, just find a real estate agent
Yeah.
that's willing to let you tag along so you can see how they do things.
Mm. Yeah.
Because real estate, as my kids say, Mama, you make it look so easy. And that's why everybody wants to do it. Okay, that's great that it looks easy, but y'all don't see the grunt. Y'all don't see the long hours where my husband saying, put the phone down. You don't see any of that kind of stuff. It's hard. You got to put in the work. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Nobody's going to knock on your door,
Mm.
and say, hey, sell me a house. You need to be knocking on doors. You
Mm.
need to be walking in neighborhoods. You need to be canvassing,
Yeah. Yeah.
those type of things. So, and if you're new, for the older agents, a lot of us don't do open houses anymore. I really just got back into them because I had stopped for years too. But do open houses.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
are coming out. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, a lot of these buyers are savvy. A lot of these buyers feel they can do it on their own because they can look on
Mm.
Zillow and see the pictures. But baby, let me tell you about those pictures. It's like putting lipstick on a pig. You have to see that house in person. And those of y'all that buying houses online, sight unseen, are crazy. Because I have shown houses and all my pictures look amazing.
Yeah.
400,000 and you get in there and it looks nothing like that. You can tell the pictures have been edited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the big thing. And then, like I said, just you need to go out. Like I tell people all the time, if you want to go with me to inspections, you want to go with me to networking meetings, if you want to go to appraisals, whatever you need to see the on the job training so
Mm.
you can understand that process, then that's what you need to do.
All right, Lisa, it's been a pleasure. We will cut your phone a break because it's tired of buzzing
Yes,
without being answered.
please. And should have put it on do not disturb. I apologize. I didn't
No,
expect
that's
it.
okay. That's okay. It is business. We gotta be aware of who called. So now you gotta catch up on a lot of stuff. And it
Yeah.
was a value packed 40, what is it, 50 minutes now. So I appreciate you taking the time away from your business and adding value to the community. I'm looking forward to collaborate with you and looking forward to see you in Miami.
Yes, I look forward to seeing you as well. We got to do it again. And thank you so much for having me, Saeed.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.